And the thing about it is, Pisces, you know that you have the potential to do great things. So that is why you take on so much responsibility when dealing with someone with potential. But the key thing that you have to realize, Pisces, is that everyone is not you. You can't place people in your shoes. Why? Because they can't fit your shoes. You know, they can't fit the reality of life that you see it. They can't even take on everything you take on and come out resilient. Their path, even though it may seem a little similar, it's completely different because it's their own path, it's their own view. They have their own makeup, and they have their own way of going about things that come to them. All right, Pisces. So just remember that you can't take everybody into a space to feel as if they will come out strong like you. Some people hold resentment because they don't have the ability to come out as resilient as you when they go through certain things. And I see that Pisces often get, caught up in just trying to convince someone that they feel them very deeply. And when you do that with a lot of people, they envy the fact that you have empathy for them. They envy the fact that you are seeing the bigger picture, and they really can't. People often wonder why you're going through so much, but you're still smiling. A lot of people, when they go through things, they become bitter. They become very envious. They become very jealous. They shut down and they break down. And so I'm getting a sense that there's people around you, and even people that you probably haven't spoke to in a while, and you reconnecting with them, you may see that they're not the person they used to be. They seem a little dark, and they seem a little down. They seem a little just like standoffish. That is a defense mechanism that a lot of people tend to do when they have been let down, when someone literally came into their world and try to just break it and shatter it, but with you, Pisces, you find the strength within yourself. And it's not even just strength. It's kind of like you don't have that opportunity to shut down, and your spirit won't allow you to shut down, but you do need that space and time, and that to be able to rest and to have that peace, to unclench, right? But Pisces, I feel like your mind and your spirit is constantly, and your body is constantly working to the point to where you're like, I'm going to get my time to rest once everybody's okay. I'm going to get my time to rest. But Pisces, you're wearing yourself out doing that. So that means when people come into your life and they don't know how to conduct themselves as if they know everything is going to be all right, especially if they claim to believe in God. If they're bitter, they're spiteful, evil acting and stuff like that, you got to just get rid of them people. You know what I'm saying? Like, not talk to them as much, not call them, not depend on them, not tell them your business, not try to connect with them, trauma bond and stuff like that. You actually have to eliminate them out of your life. That means cutting them off completely if you're able to, because all that's going to do is bring you down. Pisces, you need to have people who are able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, because see, here in life, we are supposed to keep going. You don't want to surround yourself around people that give up. When people allow trauma and things, that were devastating in their life, when they allow that to shut them down, and when they allow that to just turn them into cold people, very guarded, and not to say you shouldn't guard yourself, you shouldn't be protective, you shouldn't have discernment, because those is all the things that you're actually learning, Pisces, in your journey in life. That's the energy I'm picking up on, by the way. But when you are, surrounding yourself around people who are not like-minded, you're stunting your growth. Because everybody is going through something in this world. I bet if you actually sat down and spoke with someone, which a lot of us do, right? We speak to them and we find out all their trauma, everything they've been through and stuff like that. You're just like, mine is quite similar. Mine might be a little bit worse. But I'm thinking to myself, as a Pisces, and I'm picking up that you probably feel the same way as well. You're like, I've been through that plus some, but I'm still able to still conduct myself peaceful in manner. See, a lot of times, Pisces, present themselves authentically, and they don't ever learn their lesson, right? Because they keep dealing with people the same way they've been dealing with people over and over and over again. And let me tell you right now, the enemy is trying to change you and make you to be like those people, trying to make you cold, trying to make you spiteful, trying to make you put you in this space to where you're resentful, or you want to pay back, or you want to harm someone, you want to act out of character, and ultimately, end you. If you ever met a Pisces who's like mimicking a lot of these cold-hearted people's ways, that's because that Pisces they've given up, like they're tired, and they just given up their divine purpose as far as being that light at the end of the tunnel, being that light in the room, or seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, and even being the light, because we have an ability to feel and to know that things are going to work out. And I often see, and I'm feeling now, that a lot of times Pisces feel like they have to not smile as much, not be happy around certain people, because they don't want to be under attack. They don't want certain spirits to come and attack them. So Pisces would do things like dress down. Pisces would do things like not smile so big. Pisces would do things like, not want to do their hair, their makeup, not want to really speak up as much, do their best, and knowing that people will find out about it. Because why? I feel that Pisces feels like when they show up in their full self, with all their gifts and abilities, and just becoming like just light in the room, that spirit is going to come out and try to like tear them down. And I know Pisces is tired of that. I know Pisces is like, all right, now I gotta like dumb myself down in order for me to be safe. But Pisces, you're going to continuously deal with stuff like that until you allow your light to shine. But you see, if you have an opportunity to remove someone out of your life, rather that's blocking them, rather that's, changing a job. And I'm not saying you have to just like quit your job right now, or like divorcing. I'm not saying you have to divorce the person. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, if you have an ability to make a change, and if God is speaking to you, like giving you signs that this is done, if you're feeling within yourself it's done, you have to really listen to that, because it's going to save you from a lot of heartache. It's going to save you from a lot of just going like spiraling down, because everything has its season in your life, and you have to get to a point to where your ears is open, your spirit is open, to know that what's ultimately being done is your DNA is being altered. And honestly, that's the trick of the enemy, and that's what the enemy is going for, is to try to re-alter your DNA so that you become cold, you become vicious, you become someone that can't connect on a human level. You can't connect with the elements of the earth, the animals, the trees. You can't self-heal, and you're a self-healer, and that is something that's trying to be stripped from you, from those who are against you, the spirituals, counterparts that are out there attacking you. They're trying to remove that element of you being able to heal yourself. And so just be very, very, very mindful of when people have like that weird energy around you. They're being deceptive. Do not take on the identity of deception, of people having fun. You didn't do anything wrong. It's kind of like you can't even speak to people about what they did wrong or what you don't like. But when someone has something to say about you to make themselves feel comfortable, they, don't hesitate to speak up. And you respectfully, respond to them as if you, would want them to do for you if you were to speak up. But you're kind of getting a sense with people like beforehand that you can't even say anything. And then you'll like think to yourself, how can I go about this in the most respectful way? But you already know you can go about it in the most respectful way, but these people will still take things personal, and then a big old argument will happen. So like in that type of situation, that's when you know that this type of individual is not supposed to be in my life, because they have to do that work on themselves. Because to be surrounded by somebody who is so quick to argue with you. Now people could get angry. That's a part of a human thing, right? But for someone to try to justify something they did wrong and they want to argue with you, that's putting you in a position you really don't need to be in. You know what I'm saying? Because that person's not doing the work on themselves, so that if you was to ever say something to them about something, that they can take it as a constructive criticism and not personally, to where they're feeling attacked. All right, Pisces. So just be aware that you're going to continuously hear, you know, by the end of this month, I think we're going into retrograde soon. I know there's a new moon coming for sure. I'm unsure when the actual retrograde is about to happen, but you're being tested and tried, because I honestly feel like this retrograde is going to bring forth abundance for you. But like spirit is trying to prepare you as far as like your eyes being open, your soul, your spirit being open to just certain things that has expired, like certain lessons that has expired. Like you already had supposed to been learn these things, you know? Okay, so if there's anything you need from me, just make sure you comment below, and make sure you subscribe, and make sure you like. I hope this message was able to resonate with you, Pisces. All right, peace.